Hello and welcome to another episode of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Dad FF. Joined as always by my main man at FF Snoog. And you see it's Tuesday because you see Broc down there rocking the mustache. Now Snoog's got the mustache. You know, maybe it's mustache March is around the corner. I can't wait for that. But right now it's cold. Today's show, we're talking about dynasty trades to pay for the summer vacation. You know, it's not that far. I'm talking about going down to Florida in a couple of weeks. A lot of you guys are talking about fantasy vacation, and Snoog, the Discord paid for a lot of people's vacations this year.
Yeah, it was a blast in there. Tons of people winning leagues, tons of people making league-winning trades, and it starts with Tuesday night every time at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Right now, we're rolling around on Combine pretty soon. Super Bowl is this weekend. Once that's over, it's full rookie focus for everybody. So we're going to see a lot of – we just dropped that vet versus rookie pick show. I feel like we're going to see a lot of that on tonight's trade show. Some opportunities you could start cashing in on some of these rookie picks for some established veterans, as we always like to say. On Smash Accept, you're never forced to make the pick.
Yeah, and Broc, what's been awesome is every single – trade show we've had is hit 4K, you know, and we're on our quest right now to get up to 10K subscribers. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit those likes, get those comments. The only way to get in on these is to be a super chat or in the Discord. We're literally getting hundreds of questions right now, Broc. I mean, we're starting with the Super Bowl coming around. Everybody's excited now to move into that 2026, right? Sleeper gets you going and you're like, cool, we're going to start again. But then when the Super Bowl's over, that's when it really starts.
Yeah, you hit it right there, Dad. And I'm in a startup right now, and we started it last week, and the ADP wasn't updated. I'm like, what are we doing, Sleeper? Literally, they know, the weekend happens. They load in rookies, they update the ADP, so it's full steam ahead. Once the Super Bowl ends, Combine at the end of this month, like Snoog said, we got pro days. Next thing you know, it's going to be April, and most leagues do their drafts right around there the next couple weeks after that. So we're going to be hitting y'all with trade shows for the next few months to work out these picks. Do you want to hold them? Do you want to trade them? It's going to be great to see more mock drafts come. And I think, past even just first round mocks, seeing who might be going running back wise in the second and third, how the back half of those first rounds are going to be looking.
We're starting tonight out with a bang.
What flavor we got?
Straw Bango. You don't even know about this. This is just another world. We're going to start the show out with a real banger. Like this first one, we've been trying to, pick ones for the thumbnail, and they're like, this trade sent in from Chesty LaRue blows my mind. This is what real men are all about, right? Like this kind of trade here, you got to have some brass balls one way or another. So let's talk about this one.
Yeah, you got to plant your flag on this one. You'll see it on the thumbnail from Chesty LaRue. We got one side with Puka and Caleb Williams. Other side is Josh Allen, Drake London. Snoog, I'll kick this one your way. What do you like here?
This one's fun. I'm going Josh Allen and Drake London, though. Josh Allen's going to score the most points out of anybody on this, out of these four by a mile, by probably 50 to 100 points every single year. And then I'm confident enough in Drake London being a low-end wide receiver one where he can fill the gap. It's not going to be what Puka Nacua does, but Caleb Williams will never do what Josh Allen does, if we're being honest. He's never going to probably score 500 fantasy points. He's never going to be a guy that has 15 rushing touchdowns. He's the best fantasy QB we've ever seen. So I'm going to roll with Josh Allen and Drake London here. I still am a big believer in Drake London with Kevin Stefanski and what they're doing in Atlanta to bring in some new offensive-minded coaches.
Mm-hmm. With Joe Brady coming in, James Cook going to get more involved likely in the passing game, potentially drafting a wide receiver, probably signing a guy. I mean, Josh Allen is due for – I feel like the amount of revenge we're going to see from Josh Allen just want to light the world on fire next year. No debate there. He's over Caleb Williams. But I think the gap between London and Puka it's pretty substantial. However, I'm with you, Snoog. Like you're looking at, your QB1 and your wide receiver 7 to 10 range, or your QB 7 to 10 range and your wide receiver 1 or 2. The only way I would consider this is if you have like insanely high scoring for your wide receivers or insanely low scoring for your quarterbacks. But even then, you're talking about if it's 4-point passing, Josh Allen is literally the GOAT. You know what I mean? He led the league in rushing yards and in rushing touchdowns this past year. So, yeah, you're not even messing around with that. We got 3 super chats on the docket already. I mean, I love this. I saw some of you guys. Spacely Adams was like, I hate it when I get early to the party. We had super chats before it even starts. I try to put this show up, a week in advance so you guys can see what we're going to be doing and kind of go there. So if you guys are not doing that ahead of time and you have a super chat, you don't have to be live. It's more fun when you're live, but you can jump it in there. 2 days, 3 days, whatever you want, and we're going to cover it for you. Make sure we do the best we possibly can.
All right. First one coming in from Darren Bowling. Appreciate the super chat here, Darren. He said, thank you guys for all that you do. He traded Brian Thomas Jr., Tyler Warren, Henry, and a couple thirds for Neighbors, the 110 and the 507. It's very often you see, not often you see rookie picks in the 5th round, but receivers, we'll get that on pause for a second. Receivers, Neighbors, Tet, Garrett Wilson, JMO, Flowers, Adams, Diggs, really deep there. Also Butte and Downs. So, Dad, bring it up. I'm assuming you're taking the Neighbors side here.
Let's go. I'm going Neighbors all day. I don't even care. I know a lot of people are going to be down on Matt Nagy because he doesn't push the ball downfield, and he's the new offensive coordinator. But like getting off BTJ here, BTJ is really close to that 110. So you're essentially getting Malik Neighbors for Tyler Warren, Derrick Henry, and a pair of thirds. That's how it's done. Darren's in the Discord. Chesty's in the Discord. Snoog, by the way, Chesty was going to make that trade, and we talked about it, and he's like, no, we can't do it, Josh Allen. Sometimes when we do trades, it's a matter of sometimes the ones you win are the ones you walk away from. And in the Discord, a lot of you guys on Twitter get a little bit, quote unquote, butthurt because I'm like, that's a bad trade, or I'm not making that trade. Or in there, we're here to help you out. And sometimes it's going to be tough advice. We'll be like, no, that's not even close, bro. And that's what it's okay. We're literally here to be your fantasy football advisors to help you guys with trades, right? Because sometimes I even text Snoog. I'm like, what do you think of this trade? And he'll be like, he'll show me some insight and I'm like, no, that makes sense. And he does the same. And so does Brock. And, like getting another set of eyes on anything like that can come in huge because you make the wrong trade, it can set you back for years.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you hit it hard there. I think Neighbors feels free there, Dad. I feel like it's a free 110 on top of that, right? So I think it's all in on Neighbors. I don't care who the offensive coordinator is.
All right. Next super chat coming in from Rolando Robledo. Thank you for the super chat, Rolando. He said a 12-team start 9 Superflex league. He's rebuilding. He traded Purdy for a first in 27 and a first in 2028. And then he also dealt 202 and a fourth to move up a few spots to 111. So he's now has picks 2, 4, 5, 11, 12, 15, 16. Okay, so the 203 and 204, it's a 12-team league. So he's asking what should he do? He's rebuilding, Dad. I know you say you build out before you build up, but all these picks in a class like this, it's hard to imagine, picks 11 through 16 there might really contribute toward this rebuild. What would you do with all these picks right now?
I think when I have these rebuilding teams here, Rolando, and it's a great question, and I did this in Smash Except 13 and other ones where it's like I think in that one I had like 17 picks in the first 3 rounds, and I'm not picking all of them. What you have to realize is hold them until you get on the clock. They're going to increase in value. I say this all the time. As soon as you pick the 102, you've eliminated trade partners, right? The 102 is this year in particular, there's 3 guys, maybe 4 guys that could really fall into that spot, and I think you wait till you're on the clock. And if you want to, you keep moving back. Someone asked me what I say all the time is we're building out before we build up. What does that mean? I'm trying to trade 102 for 106 and a first. I'm trying to trade 102 for an early 27 first and a late first in this class. I'm trying to build out, meaning adding as many assets as possible to have 18 starting quality players or picks, right? Like, because I look at my team and I was like, okay, if I'm rebuilding, I want to have 3 elite wide receivers, the best wide receivers I can have. I want to have 2 quarterbacks. I want to have 0 running backs, and I don't even care about the tight end. I want them to score me 0 points. I want to just start building out and picking up extra wide receivers, picking up extra picks. So I'm trying to trade back as much as possible. 2, 4, and 5 are great premium spots. If you can get a 27 first plus another first, you do it. If not, you take Mendoza, or if you already have 2 quarterbacks, you take Lemon, you take Tate, you take Tyson, you go that route. And then when you get to 11 through 16, you're trying to trade for, early seconds plus something next year. Just continue to build up. So I like that. That's awesome there. I love it. The super chats are flying in, Snoog. Like I want to crank into these because we have so many of them right off the bat. But you can hit on the next one. Anything else to add here? I like the Purdy trade. If you go from 202 to 111 for a fourth, that is literally highway robbery.
Yeah, that's a steal all around. I like both of these trades a lot, especially as a rebuilder. 2 firsts for Brock Purdy. Smash it all day.
All right, this one coming in from Jeremiah Dibble. Appreciate the super chat, Jeremiah. 10-team super flex. He can start 3 flexes. He tiered down and took Caleb 105 and 201 for Josh Allen in 207. Love all the work you guys do. Much love. How did he do, Snoog? Allen in 207 for Caleb 105, 201.
Yeah, and I think you kind of have to do this. If it depends on who it is. If it's your guy at 105, maybe he falls a bit. Some people have 102 to 105 as a flat tier right now. Maybe you get your 102 at the 105, but I feel like I would have to see who's there on the clock at the 105 before I make a trade like this. Also, 10-team Superflex does make me lean Allen a little bit more because I think he's more dominant in that format, but it is 3 flex, so it feels like it could be a deeper format. We're getting, 105 and going from 207 to 201. That's a big jump. So it feels like you're getting good assets on top of Caleb. Guess it depends what the build looks like, but if I need depth, I'd go Caleb. If not, I'm keeping Allen.
Yeah, in a 10-teamer, you always want your studs, and I think Allen there, I would not trade Allen for Williams in the 105. And I don't think the 201, 207 is a big enough. Like, I almost feel like 207 and a first would have been it, but I understand that in a 10-teamer, that is pick 11. So it is kind of like another first round pick, so you kind of look at it that way. So it's not a bad trade. I do slightly lean Josh Allen. I think the fact that we can buy Josh Allen in any league blows my mind. Caleb is going to be considerably moving up. He's my QB5 right now. And I don't find this to be a bad trade. I do slightly lean the Josh Allen side, but what you do with that 105 is the key, right? If that 105 is Carnell Tate and he ends up being a wide receiver 1, you're right on there, right? And if you could take that 201 on the clock and flip it for a 27 first, then it becomes an easy win, and I think I'm all over that one. So fantastic trade there. Next one.
All right. This one coming from A Chase. Appreciated A Chase. Familiar name here. He said he knows this one was answered in the Discord, but he wants to hear the discussion. 8-team, start 9, pretty shallow league format. Achane 101 or Puka Kyron. Right now, he has Achane, Genty, Hampton 101. So, I mean, that's an insane running back room, Dad. Would you move Love and Achane for Puka and Kyron? You assume maybe he needs some more receiver depth, having all those running backs. What do you think?
No, I'm not. I think the gap between Puka and 101 is much smaller than the gap between Achane and Kyron. I am on the spot of trading Devon Achane right now. I mean, losing Mike McDaniels. You're going to get a new offensive coordinator in there. You're going to get he's not a system running back, but he was really propped up a lot in that Mike McDaniels system, I believe. I think he's going to be fine. But I mean, this is one where I can't give up both these pieces, Snoog. I mean, Achane in a late first or even a mid first for Puka, but I can't do it for the 101 because either you or I really value Kyron Williams as a push-in piece, and I think Blake Corum ate into the work enough where he's barely worth a first. So I'm leaning Achane 101 here pretty handedly. I love the fact that you would have Achane, Genty, Hampton, and, Jeremiah Love. Yeah. I think you have a ton of opportunities there. I don't think you have to make this kind of trade right now.
Yeah, I think it's Achane all day long here. I mean, I think Jeremiah Love is going to be a very valuable asset, by far going to be the second best asset in this trade. Achane's so much more valuable than Kyron Williams to me. So I'll lean that side as well. Again, 8-team, you want your studs. You're getting 2 studs here. Yeah, so I'll roll with that side all day.
I love it. Super chats are rolling in. If we hit 10, a lot of you guys have been in there and you're getting at 10, 15, and 20, we give away a free month of VIP Patreon, which is a $20 value. A lot of guys that, they'll message me. They're like, oh, we didn't even know you had a Discord. Patreon.com/SmashAccept gets you into our Discord. We're always running different promotions. You use code BOAT50, you'll get 50% off. But right now, I mean, a lot of guys, they get that free month and then they're like hooked. Like, this is literally, I don't go on Twitter anymore, Dad, because everything I need is right in here. A lot of guys are like, this saves me so much time because I got all the rankings and I got all the people that I want to talk to, 5 or 6 different analysts in there talking shop with you guys. It's fantastic. So.
All right. This super chat coming from Jeremy. Appreciate it here, Jeremy. We got the 110 and a third in a couple of years, 2028 for 208 and a second 2027. Dad, you just taking the first and running here?
Yeah. I mean, 2 seconds. I got to say this is like 2 seconds don't equal a first. And in a lot of leagues, people think that. And I'm like, that's not it. 3 seconds barely equal a first. It's a matter of your hit rates. Your hit rates on those first round picks we've been blessed recently. I would say recently it's probably in that 70 range. Over the last 8 years, it's 50%. So 50% of the guys you pick in round 1 are going to hit, meaning they're going to have a wide receiver 1, a running back 1, a quarterback 1, a top 24 finish in there in that area, right? Second rounders are 25% or less. I think that hovers around 20 to 25%. So do the math. You're going to also get, how many second rounders do you remember that are now top 2 startup picks, in that top 2 rounds? If you look at those guys, almost every single one of them was a first round pick, because first round picks have the pedigree. That's the way to do it. You mitigate risk by doing this. Even if that's 201 in 2027, you smash this deal. It's not even anything that I would debate. That's a great trade.
Yep.
I think we have one more on here, Snoog.
We got a couple. There's one from CCC.
Oh.
He put it underneath it. We'll hit that 3-teamer in a bit.
All right. I don't have 3 CCCs, so let's hit the 3-teamer. I got this on the trade docket, but this one's just a fun one. We got to do this.
Yeah, when the screenshot came through for this one pre-show, I was looking at it, trying to see who won. Everyone got some great pieces. Appreciate the super chat, Robert. What's up, Dad and Snoog? Huge 3-team trade and a 14-team 1 quarterback. Okay, that changes things. 1 quarterback here with Drake May moving. What do you guys think? So I'll just go through the pieces. May and Loveland, CD and McBride, and then Malik in 113, a mid-first next year, and then 2 mid to late firsts in 27 and 28. So Malik and technically 4 firsts, CD and McBride, May,
it's
and
Malik.
Loveland.
It's Malik by a mile. Yeah, I love the Malik.
Yeah, it's Malik.
Yeah.
I mean, I read this at first as Malik in 113, May and Loveland. Like those other ones, I think that's his actual stock. Because if he got 4 firsts, I mean, that's insane. But for me, if I get to choose between in 14 teamers, you guys that are in those, that makes it almost like Superflex light. But what it really does to me, Snoog, is the most valuable piece in this entire trade is Trey McBride. In a 14-teamer, your quarterbacks or your tight ends make that absolutely.
Yeah, it's premium. Yeah.
Tight end premium in 14. Snoog, I mean, what do you think the difference in tight end premium between Trey McBride and what tight end 14 was? Like it had to have been double figures.
Probably like 300 fantasy points. Yeah.
It's insane amount of difference. So I'm definitely in on that one. I think that is 3-teamers are interesting. While I look for CCs there, like I rarely pull them off. The way that I try to do them, Snoog, and I want to get your insight, is like I bring in a third, like you and I are doing a deal, right? And then I bring in a third guy to just kind of like fill in the gaps. Oftentimes these kind of trades don't work because it's like this guy wants this, that guy wants that. But if you're like, you and I tried a couple of them where it's okay, this trade's almost there. What can we do to finish this? Okay, let's throw this guy a second from this end and let's get this veteran onto this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I love that trade. That's a fun one.
There are so many questions in here.
It's like really the first message after your all the trade 20. It's a few down from that.
Oh, there we go. Oh, little for the love of the game.
All right. Appreciate the super chat here, CC. For the love of the game, new to the Discord, looking forward to getting some great ideas. Back-to-back champs. We got some pressure, guys. We got to bring them a 3-peat.
Let's do it. Hey, I love when we get new guys in there, guys that are excited. This is another one. Holy smoke.
He comes through every week. He says it every week.
But he was meeting the Discord, and it was like, now it's like families in there, like talking shop, and guys are like, I'm starting to get to know not just your fantasy teams, what you guys like, a lot about your lives. I'm starting to like, it's a really awesome process. And then you can start to see where guys go from, their first time in the Discord, they're like, what do I do? What do I do? Then after they're in there for a while, they're like, this is what I think you would do. Am I correct? And I'm like, yes, that is what we're trying to do, is like trying to get ourselves into those positions. So that's great.
Yeah. All right. Trade 2 here coming from Shazam. We got Jaden Daniels in the 111 or CeeDee Lamb, Sam Darnold, Saquon Barkley, Snoog. See you making a face there. What side do you lean?
That's fun. I'm going to roll with Daniels, though. I think Darnold needs to be like a Dak or a Stroud or someone Jordan Love type of QB for me to do this. Darnold's not quite there. It just needs to be maybe even Goff. I'd consider it, but got to go with Daniels in the 111 here. I mean, Daniels had a down year, but I think he's still a stud and he has crazy upside with his rushing ability.
I see a lot of people making trades like this right now saying, well, now I filled my roster. If you had to fill your roster now with Sam Darnold, You're not going anywhere. You're going to lose. You know what I mean? Like this is, Snoog, a lot of teams, people come to me and they're like, look at this. I got 3 starters for 2. That's great. But Jaden Daniels is worth way more than this. Like Sam Darnold's barely worth the 111. Saquon and Lamb, 2 years from now, Daniels could be worth, Daniels is already worth more than those, but 2 years from now, Daniels could be worth 1 to 2 firsts over that package. Like this is not the kind of trade I'm trying to make. And I know Shazam got the Daniels side, so I like it.
Yep.
Nice. Trade 3 from Wesley Posfical.
I think it's Popsicle.
For a second.
Popsicle? Yeah.
Popsicle. We got Gibbs or Hampton Judkins. All right, Dad. It's like a top 2 dynasty running back for maybe your 5 and 8, 5 and 7, something around that range. 2 for 1. Mm-hmm. What do you want here?
So I put out my new dynasty rankings, updated in the Discord, put it out there. Snoog, Bijan and Gibbs both have increased in value with new offensive coordinators, and they have separated themselves. And people are like, how do they move up? Bijan just got Stefanski. Gibbs just got, a new offensive coordinator who's going to get him a lot more involved. They're going to move up. They're both going to separate themselves. I love that Hampton is now with McDaniels. I love that Judkins has Monken, but Judkins is injured. I don't like these kind of trades. I want Gibbs. If I get Gibbs or Bijan, I want to keep them, but it's really close. Like they're really inching up there where this is a very close trade. I can see this in a 0.25 PPC where you are building out. I can see this, but Gibbs is just so hard for me to trade. I rarely side giving up Bijan or Gibbs.
Yeah, it's Gibbs for me. I just don't think either of these other 2 running backs can get close to Jahmyr Gibbs' level of production and skill set. This could be a running back like a Christian McCaffrey, some of these Hall of Fame caliber running backs that are good for 8 to 10 plus years and giving you RB1 seasons. Very easily, where Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara, how they were RB1s for like 8 to 10 straight years, could probably get the same thing from Gibbs and Bijan. So they're damn near untradeable for me. Even like rebuilding, people are like, I'm rebuilding. Should I trade Jahmyr Gibbs for this? I'm like, dude, keep Jahmyr Gibbs. He's 23. You're going to rebuild for 2 years and he's going to be in his prime. If you sell him, you're never getting him again.
No. You're absolutely right. The only way I consider moving those guys is if I get an elite wide receiver that I know is going to be in there in that next spot. You know what I mean? But you and I have been talking about it where Drew Petzing is someone coming over from the Cardinals who runs the ball a lot. They like to run a lot of,
good run game.
A lot of personalities or personnel with extra tight ends in there. There's going to be a lot more runs for Jahmyr Gibbs. And I don't think the Lions are happy with David Montgomery of late either. So, I think Gibbs is all systems go.
Yep.
All right. Trade 4 here coming from Jason Workman. We got a contending team, 2 mid to late 27 firsts or the 104, 108 Snoog. What do you think?
Give me the 104 and 108 here. I'm confident that my 104 pick is going to be worth more than a mid to late 27 first, where to the point of where the gap between a mid to late 27 first and the 108 isn't as big. Like I know that the wide receiver I drafted the 104 will be worth probably close to 2 firsts by the time his rookie season is over. And maybe it is right away, Dad, right? Maybe, Mendoza goes 1, which is going to happen to the Raiders. Boom, there's a top 4 pick. And then you get maybe Tyson, Tate, Lemon, 2 of those guys goes, maybe they go Kansas City and Titans, right? If they go to 2 landing spots like that, for me, they're worth close to 2 firsts. Like the wide receiver that goes to either of those landing spots with top 10 draft capital. Like we can treat it like, oh, maybe they go to the Jets, maybe they go to the Ravens. What if they don't? What if they go to the Titans 4? What if they go to the Browns 6? What if they go to the Chiefs 9? What if they go to some of these good landing spots that you wouldn't? The Rams at 12, right?
Commanders,
like there's a lot of Commanders that are a phenomenal spot at 7. Like I think there's a lot of good spots for them to go, rather bad. So I think that there's a good chance that this pick ends up being worth more than that. So I'll roll with the 104 here. But if it was 2 mid, I would take the mids.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going to look at it from a slightly different lens. I would rather have the 104 and 108, and I think it's that dollar today is worth more than $1 tomorrow in that same range, right? What I'm doing is I'm buying equivalents, right? We've been bringing out these shows where we're talking about if I'm a contender, the 104 and the 108 are wild cards, as are these mid to late 27 first. A mid 27 first, in theory, can buy you any running back not named, like Bijan, Gibbs, A-Chain, Genty, Hampton. Anybody else, they're yours. Take them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can get James Cook with the 104 range, right? And with that 108, then you go ahead and you get yourself another wide receiver in A.J. Brown. Give me James Cook and A.J. Brown if I'm a true contender over a couple of picks. I want to win the money, and then we'll play about it afterwards, right? Like, I think I'm buying guys that are perceived as older, right? But James Cook and A.J. Brown are going to be in the next 2 years, both going to be dominating. So I'm more looking at it as making those kind of picks, especially on the clock. I know he has the 27 first, but try to buy a 27 first right now. Like, every trade I've offered in January and February to date, people have been like, no, I'm keeping my 27 first. That's Jeremiah Smith's in that class. Bro, you just won the league. You're not getting the 101, but like, there's such an allure around that class. And there's a lot of great prospects in that class. So I get it. I'd keep the 27 first, and I would, if I have to, buy a prospect or two. But if you're a true contender, shouldn't have to right now.
Yeah. Trade 5 here from Jake's Underheimer, submitted through the Discord. We got Ashton Genty or Ladd, the 107 and a 27 second. Snoog, we know how you feel. Before we get your thoughts, Dad, what do you think on this?
Oh, it's Ashton Genty. It's not even close. Clint Kubiak is coming to town as soon as the Super Bowl is over. Snoog and I did a show where we were talking about, I don't even know who we were talking about, but we're like, what if Kubiak comes there, right? And now he's going with Ashton Genty, $90 million under the cap. They're going to fill up that offensive line. Fernando Mendoza's coming in. Kubiak is great with his system. Mendoza's going to be good. They're going to beef up the offensive line. It's going to be a nice – I'm excited for the Raiders. What the hell?
Yeah, I know.
We don't say that. I mean, if I ever say I'm excited for the Jets, that's just going to be a different show. I might hang it up. But the Raiders, I can't see. What are you getting at 107? You're not getting a running back. You're going to get Ladd McConkey, and you're going to get Boston, Conception, Cooper. Nothing great. I'm going Genty.
It feels like Mendoza's. This has nothing to do with the trade, but it just feels like Mendoza's like a lock to at least be like close to a Bo Nix caliber now, right? Like, he has that offensive mind guru head coach now coming into play. Granted, we got to see what Kubiak is as a head coach, but dude, that dude came in with the New Orleans Saints and made that team like a top run team in the NFL. Kamara had a best year as a rusher. He was pacing like 1,300 plus yards as a rusher. I think he had like 913 games. Like, that team with no offensive line was running the ball at a high level. Seahawks run the ball at a high level with no offensive line in the run game, like a little bit weaker on that front. Like, he reinvents the run game. He's a great offensive-minded coach. It's Genty by a mile, and it's not close.
Hey, we're 4 super chats away from giving away a month of that VIP Patreon. Make sure you guys get in there with your questions. I see a ton of questions on the docket, but I can't answer them as we've got 20 other ones that we're trying to get to. So, just trying to be respectful of everybody else that's on the list.
All right. Trade 6 from Dirk Homizar, submitted through Twitter. He's asking, what is Cam Skattebo's trade value and Superflex picks? Dad, not sure if you covered him on your running back equivalent show. I'm sure you guys did. You went through a bunch of different players there, but what would you have him worth right now? We'll say in 2026 picks, and then maybe 2027 first value if you would have him late, where you'd have him in that regard.
So this was a Twitter poll, okay? And 20% of you guys, his values everywhere. 20% said they'd pay the 105. 22 said they'd pay the 17. 22 said they'd pay the 110. The winning poll was 36% said he's worth the 111 or less. If you can get Cam Skattebo for the 111, you smash that so hard it's not even funny. I have him worth the 108, 109, and I think as soon as we get anything that says it's a clean bill of health and he's ready to go, that goes up more like 107. By the time this is all said and done, he would be the RB2 in this class. Once we get done with the top 6 in this class, you could argue he could be worth the 106. 27 first, it would have to be outside my top 7. But 26, I'd be willing to pay 106. You don't have to. I'd love to pay 112 in a second or 201 in a second, 111, something like that. But Snoog, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Right now, I think 108 is fair, but I think when it's all said and done, after the big five, he's going to be right there with Sadiq and Concepcion and Boston, depending on landing spots.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a run-heavy offense. Like, he's coming back from a season-ending injury, but I'm not worried about it. Like, they got Dart Neighbors. They got a lot of assets to build around. They brought in Harbaugh. They brought in Nagy. Like, they're going to run the ball at a high level, and I think Cam Skattebo is going to be the face of this run game, even after a season-ending injury. Maybe has a little bit of a down year this year and has a big breakout next year. Usually happens with these type of injuries, but I'm banking on it at cost. I'm willing to buy in because he'd be by far RB2, if not RB3 in this class in its own tier.
All right, trade 7 here from DeFlippio. Submitted to the Discord. We got Henderson and a late second in 2028, or Aronde Gadsden, Malik Willis, and a mid to late 27 first. Snoog, what do we like on this one?
I'm going to roll with Hendo. I think it's good assets you're getting on that right-hand side. Like, at least good value, but I'm just going to roll with an RB that has the potential to have a top 5 season in the offense he's in, with the skill set he has in the passing game and hitting home runs left and right that we saw. Over 1,200 total yards and 10 plus TDs as a rookie split in backfields. Really only playing like 6 full games without Ramondre Stevenson, if that. So I'll bank on that. I
saw a trade where I saw someone get Skattebo in the 27 first for Hendo. I would smash that. I like Travion Henderson. I really don't love what's going on in the situation. You know what I mean? Like, when he blew up, you're like, okay, because when Gibbs blew up, right? We were talking about this with the Gibbs versus Henderson thing. When Gibbs blew up, it was his show. You know, like, David Montgomery took the back seat. He was still involved, but he took a back seat. When Henderson blew up, it's like, okay, Ramondre's back, take a back seat. And you're like, what did I miss there? But I'm seeing a lot of tape where he's missing holes. He's, they're not getting him into space like they need to. I think Henderson's the right call on this side, but Malik Willis is really the difference maker here. He's going to be a starter. He is going to put up some pretty nasty numbers. If he can be, better than what Justin Fields was, which he proved that he could actually be complete passes, he's going to be someone that's going to skyrocket in value. If this is a mid-first, there's a real chance you lose this trade. Like, if that's truly a mid-first could be worth more than Travion Henderson. So then it becomes, do you get a free Malik Willis here? And I think if I'm rebuilding, I might take a shot on that mid-27 first side, because there's a real chance that Willis is going to be worth a first at some point this year. I really believe that.
Yeah, I like that one. Trade 8 coming from Your Breath Nasty, submitted through Discord. Yeah. We got a 0.25 tight end premium league. McBride, Olave, Blake Corum, or Gibbs and Warren. Dad, what do we think on this one?
This is a good one. Like, 0.25 Snoog, I don't even think it's tight end premium. That's like, I want to dip my toes in the water. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to jump in the pool. I just want to see if it's cold.
Yeah.
0.5, I'm like, okay, you're starting with it. We play 0.75 in most of ours. I'm going to say, you look at this, it's Gibbs and Warren. I hate giving up McBride, but it's Gibbs and Warren. If this was 0.75, I think it's really close, right? But I think Gibbs and McBride are fairly close. I think it would be, I don't know if I'd trade Gibbs for Olave and McBride, to be honest. So that's where I'm like, it's got to be the Warren side. Warren's going to bounce back. Give me Gibbs.
Yep, I agree. I don't think I'd be able to sleep at night if I traded Jahmyr Gibbs for Trey McBride in any Dynasty league. So I'll take Jahmyr Gibbs there all day.
Start 2.75. I think I could. If you've been in a start 2, they're horrible.
You would just never find me in a league like that. So I'm not even going to play in that hypothetical.
Hey, look who's back.
All right. Ty K back with a super chat. Appreciate it here, Ty. He said, been a while, boys. Missed a few live shows, but listen later. Appreciate that. Would you trade Brian Thomas Jr. and Ramondre Stevenson for Cam Skattebo and Cortland Sutton? Dad, what do you think?
Ooh,
I would not. I think Sutton's on his way out. He did not look fantastic. I think he's worth maybe a late second. Ramondre's probably cancels it out. So it ends up being BTJ and Skattebo. If you're really out on BTJ, I can see doing it, but I hate trading Brian Thomas Jr. where I'm not tearing up. If I tear up and I'm like, okay, I got Malik Neighbors, now I feel fine. But if Skattebo doesn't come back at 100% and BTJ balls out, this just feels dirty to me. Like, it's hard. Like, because I think value-wise, I just said that BTJ is worth the 109 and Skattebo is worth the 108. I just really struggled trading Brian Thomas Jr. because what we saw his rookie year, and then it's like, if you lose that one, Skattebo is going to be Skattebo. You're getting the same player. You're not worried about it. BTJ, we saw the best of the best, where it's top 5 dynasty wide receiver, and then the worst of the worst, where he played like dynasty or redraft wide receiver 45. So I would hold off on this one, to be honest. Like, if that was Skattebo and Devontae Adams, I would do it. But Sutton doesn't really move the needle for me.
Yeah, if you're going to buy a vet at that point, just get the best. Sorry, Snoog.
Yeah, I think Mondre is significantly more valuable than Sutton is. That's like kind of where I'm at with this. I don't know. I don't know if BTJ is ever going to be a thing with the Jags in terms of like being an elite dynasty wide receiver like he was as a rookie. I feel like that was a fluky rookie year just based on like Mac Jones and, playing from behind and not having many options. Now it's like that offense is so good. BTJ is such a stud, stretching the field and stuff. It's like make 4 or 5 big plays for us when we need you. He's like in that JMO role, but like he's not scoring 80-yard touchdowns every couple of games. So it's like it's tough for him, but maybe it works out.
I'm not investing in a single Jaguar wide receiver. I'm taking
now.
Lawrence, I'm taking ETN, but like if you believe in Washington, Myers, Hunter, or BTJ, now is your time, because it's completely ambiguous. Because a lot of people think like Parker Washington played the best out of all of them. He was phenomenal.
He's probably the cheapest, and Myers is probably the cheapest.
Myers is still the cheapest.
I'm going to start up right now, and I might take Parker Washington too. Travis Hunter slipped a little. Brian Thomas Jr. was going probably right around where he'd be, but Parker might be the best value. He's still like 23, 24. All right. This one coming from Empyrean from Twitter. We got one side with Marv and I'm blanking, Tucker Kraft or Waddle, Pitts, and Stafford, a 12-team half-point premium. Snoog, I'll kick this one your way. What do you think?
This is one of those gross trades. One of those gross trades you don't want to do, but I feel like you got to go with Waddle, Pitts, and Stafford. Like, that's 3 really good, solid assets. All have value. Waddle's got good value. He's young. He's probably going to be wide receiver 1 in Miami long-term now with Tyreek potentially getting cut. Pitts had a phenomenal career year as a tight end, about to get a big contract, and Stafford's still crushing it, coming up an MVP season. It's one of those you got to just bite the bullet and take the trade. If I'm fully loaded and none of these guys are starting for me ever, I'd take Marv.
See, I'm surprised you said that, because I actually went Marv. Because the way I look at it, I have Tucker over Pitts, and I think Tucker Kraft was on pace to just absolutely dominate. And coming off that injury, I understand that that's a little bit of a worry, but new offensive coordinator who literally has complete control over who the quarterback's going to be. Kyler's gone. Let's just be honest. Kyler's gone. Jacoby Brissett, we saw what he did with Michael Wilson. If they get the right guy in there that locks in with Marv, I think Marv's value is going to be Waddle. I tear up or tear down from Waddle. I don't own Waddle. That's just where I'm at. So he didn't need Stafford. I told him the Marv side. Very, very fair deal. It depends on what you need.
All right. Trade 10 coming from Dat Woo, submitted through Discord. We got the 101 or Hurts, Hunter. There's no way that's Travis Hunter, right? Hunter Henry, I'm assuming.
That is Travis Hunter.
Wow. So Hurts, Travis Hunter, and Montgomery.
Cowbell for Hurts.
This is where the Jalen Hurts slander is ridiculous. Snoog and I just did a quarterback equivalent show. He's worth the 102 or better, right? So, like, I think if I'm in a startup, I actually value Jalen Hurts over the 101. No, not many people are doing that right now. I mean, everybody's like pushing him way down. Keep Trade Cut has him as quarterback 11. I don't see it. You're getting a massive upside there. The fact that you're getting Hunter on top of that and then Monty, not even
double take.
Yeah, that's really where you're at here. And the next one here is very interesting because we are going to go ahead and do a super chat and then a little announcement afterwards.
All right, Ryan Suan coming through with the super chat. Appreciate it, Ryan. He said, just wanted to show some love. Thanks for grinding every day in the Discord. Best Dynasty community around.
Yo, you know what's interesting about that is we appreciate that so much, is we were literally doing a Smash Accept giveaway. He did this afterwards, but We had them on the docket ahead of time. Ryan, you won Smash Accept 21. You're going to be drafting
Oh,
with
let's
me.
go.
He did that before, just so people aren't like, yo, he put in $10. So
Nah, yeah, you can see it in the comments.
Yeah, you can see it in the comment section just in case
That's
anybody
awesome.
was like, what the heck? But Ryan, appreciate you. And we love that you guys, jump in and do those kind of things because we appreciate your time as well.
That's crazy. It was literally the next one right after that trade too.
Yeah.
All right. Dynasty is my life with the next super chat. Appreciate it. He said McCarthy and Puka, or assuming Jordan and Love, he hadn't made his rookie pick yet. Marv and a 27 first. He has McCarthy and Mahomes at QB, Puka, Lamb, Jefferson as his receiver court. So we got McCarthy, Puka, for Jordan Love, Marv, and a 27 first. Snoog, what do you think?
It's good value, but I don't know how you get rid of Puka with that core. Like looking at Puka, Lamb, and Jefferson, like that's phenomenal. I'm just gonna ride with it.
Yeah,
I'm riding.
It comes down to Love is worth considerably more than McCarthy, right? Like, but if I'm trading Puka, that 27 first would have to be top 3 to consider getting Marv and that pick, and we always talk about insulating, but it's like Jordan Love has not been great. I know he's worth more than McCarthy, but he just hasn't been great. I would not make this personal trade unless that is a top 3 to 4 27 first. And then I would even pause a little bit. But I mean, I think your wide receiver cores are phenomenal. Buy a Matthew Stafford on the cheap, pair him with Puka. That's a much better way. Trade JJ McCarthy for Matthew Stafford plus and get yourself to build out that way. But right here, the value says it's not too bad. But if JJ McCarthy, ends up performing like Snoog, and I think he could increase in value, that's going to hurt bad. I mean, and I know you're new to the show. Hopefully you win one of our VIP Patreons. This is a great trade. If you have more you want to discuss with us, you can always, I'm at Dynasty Dad FF. He's at FF Snoog on Twitter, or comment in the YouTube itself.
All right, this next super chat coming from a King Tomb. Thank you here. We got which side would you take? 12-team PPR. One side, Jefferson, Brees, and a late first. Other side, 101, 104, Luther, Bird, and Snoog. It's a fun one here. What do you think?
It's so fun looking at these type of trades because at one point in time, Justin Jefferson was worth the 101, like by a mile, like plus. Brees Hall was worth the 101 at some point in time, like after the year he finished RB2 overall, was going into that year. Everyone had him as the RB1 in Dynasty over Bijan and Gibbs. Like, it's so crazy seeing how quick players can fall off just with one down year. I feel like you got to roll with J-Jeff here. I don't know. It's close. I'm going to roll with J-Jeff here. I'd take J-Jeff over the 101 and then Brees Hall on a 27 first for 104 and Burden. I think it's very close face value. I think you give slight lean Brees over Burden. 104 for a 27 first doesn't feel great, but I love Justin Jefferson. I'm buying him everywhere. He's the best wide receiver statistically of my generation that I've watched through his first 6 years. So I'm going to bet on that talent.
I'm re-rolling completely because I have 101 over Jefferson, I have 104 over Hall, and I have Burden over the late 27 first. But it's a fair trade if Jefferson and Hall bounce back. Hall's the interesting one, right? Like right now, Hall's probably worth the 106, 107. If he signs somewhere legit, he instantly is worth more than the 104. If he comes back to the Jets, nope. I think that's where we're at. So it's a matter of what the 101 versus Jefferson is. If you're a rebuilding team, if you're not an all-in contender, I think you're going to get more for the 101, 104 in Burden than you will on the other side. Burden's value is probably way too high, to be honest. That's a good one.
All right. This super chat coming from Zeke McFarland. Thank you for the super chat, Zeke. 10-team Superflex PPR, start 11. So we got a deeper format here. But a 10-team, so probably about the same. Allen, 104 and a 28 first for Puka, Tyler Warren, Goff, and Debo. He's looking to contend in his week at receiver. Only has Ted, Igbuka, and Travis Hunter. Dad, what would you do here?
No chance. Josh Allen is going to score more than Goff and this whoever comes in at what you get at 104 and Josh Allen is going to outscore Goff and Puka. You know what I mean? You're basically, I can't see this, like right now, if you take out the 104, I think I still might prefer Josh Allen. Like Josh Allen is that good. Like for me, Goff is a late first. Debo's a late second. Tyler Warren. I mean, feels like we're just filling in pieces.
It looks
with
like
an
you're trying to
elite
rush
level
a
asset.
rebuild.
If
Looking
you're
at your wideouts, it's probably trying to rush a rebuild, Dad.
It feels a little bit rushed to me. That's where I'm at too. Is like Josh Allen. Literally, if I'm trading him, I want Lawrence. I want.
There's a different way to do
That's
it.
the lowest I go. I would honestly go Mahomes plus and try to get myself that way. But like, this is not the way I would definitely go about this one. I mean, I think this is definitely an overpay by at least the 104. And if he wants that much, then he does not value Josh Allen properly, especially if you're a contender yourself. You're not looking to contend if you're trying to trade Josh Allen. Like, he is literally the biggest difference maker in all of fantasy football.
If I'm this guy, I'm trying to get Jeremiah Smith next year. So I'm trading Josh Allen for Mahomes or one of these guys, Herbert, plus a first or two, and going that route rather than trying to buy assets.
Yeah. Trade 11 from Brishow. We got Ginty or the 102 and 112. This feels like great value if you need running back.
Ginty.
Yeah, I'm going Ginty for sure. Like, if you need a quarterback, Mendoza is going to be great, but I think the gap there is going to be. I already have Mendoza as a borderline. I have him as QB 13 right now, and I know that might come a little bit crazy, but he's my 102, so I feel like he's way up there. But I mean, this is still Ginty. If you need a running back, you need to go back and watch our running back equivalent show, because if you don't get Jeremiah Love, there are very few running backs you're going to want. Like, I think I saw Coleman, Price, Emmett Johnson. If they get the right landing spot, one of those goes to the Texans, Vikings, etc. You're going to get a little bit of value, but like, this is Love, and you're going to struggle to find another running back.
Yeah. Yep. 12 trade 12 here coming from Juan Reyes, submitted through YouTube. We got Cam Ward and George Pickens, or Jackson Dart and a second next year. Snoog, what side do we lean here?
Give me Cam Ward and George Pickens here by a mile. I think Ward has all the pieces built around him to take the next step, and I think Pickens is the stud wide receiver 1, if not high end wide receiver 2, alongside, CeeDee Lamb and Dallas. Even though he just put up 1,400 yards, I'm confident that he's going to be a top 12 wide receiver moving forward.
Ward with Dable is going to be a huge uptick. I mean, then the gap between Dart and him is probably a mid-ish first. Pickens is an early first. You know what I mean? So that
gap can close. You think that gap can close, like, eventually? I could see a world where it closes.
They're talking about the Giants taking Carnell Tate too. Like, then you could literally have a Joe Burrow light type situation. You know what I mean? Where you have your alpha Jamar Chase like in Malik Neighbors, and then you have Carnell Tate, the T. Higgins role.
Yeah,
that could be massive for him. And I think Dart's a phenomenal talent. But if Pickens doesn't go to Dallas, it's pretty darn fair. If Pickens comes back to Dallas, you lose.
Yeah. All right, trade 13 coming from Shooty Dynasty Bro, submitted through YouTube. We got Hurts or Daniel Jones, Darnold, Judy, and the 109 data. Are these some polished up turd sandwiches?
This right here is a cowbell. But this is how you polish up that turd sandwich.
Cowbell.
And this was actually on one of the shows, Snoog. I love this. We did this on Data Lab, and he actually messaged me. He goes, "Bro, that was one of my trades," because we always talk about them randomly. He goes, "This channel has helped my floundering orphan rebuild." I love that. Floundering orphan turn into a perennial monster in less than 6 months. Thank you, guys. I love those kind of comments, because like being able to take an orphan and make it your own. I always tell people, when you get an orphan, make some trades, man. Don't play with that as is. You got house money that first year, play around with it, make it work. And now that's worked for him. So I appreciate that.
That's awesome. Trade 14 coming from Main Mac. We got Luther Burden in the 110 or Chris Olave in the 206. Snoog, this insinuates Burden is valued over Olave. Do you agree with that?
No, I think Olave is valued over Burden, so I'm willing to take Burden in the 110.
Oh, sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah.
What side do you like here?
I think this is a good flip-flop insulated move for getting Burden. I'd love it a lot more if it was like Olave 202 for like Burden 106 or 105 type of deal. That's not going to happen though. So I think Burden has a real chance of being the wide receiver 1 in Chicago. I think that that's pretty set in stone for him, as long as he can stay healthy to take that over. So I think he's got good upside. And Olave could always get, like they're saying, Tyson, Tate, Lemon, like one of these guys going there. I don't think it necessarily kills Olave's value, but it definitely makes him more of a Devontae Smith, T. Higgins than, a Drake London, Garrett Wilson, one of those type of guys, in my opinion.
I think 110 to 206 is fairly flat tier. Obviously I prefer the 110 there. Burden is close to Olave. Olave is like an interesting one, right? Because like he is worth the 104 to me. He is just finished a wide receiver 6, but you can't forget about the concussions. Like
You can't forget about the 4 years before last year.
right. Well, I mean, he's always been good.
He's always
this
been
was the first
teetering.
year he kind
Yeah.
of put it together. So I mean, Burden's younger, and you get the asset. Give me Burden side.
All right, trade 15 coming from a UFA submitted to the Discord. We got Loveland and the 104 or Bowers, Dad. Does your answer change if it's smash accept tight end premium or not?
No, because you're looking at tight ends here. I mean, Snoog, Brock Bowers with Kubiak system. They're not going to be able to draft a wide receiver 1. He is going to be the wide receiver 1. He will finish the tight end 1 this year.
Yeah.
I can't trade Brock Bowers. I just can't. This is the right move though, but I want that to be 102. I want to pick my wide receiver. I want to pick who I'm pairing this with. 104 doesn't quite do it for me. I need a little bit more.
Yep, I agree. It's Loveland. For me, it's Loveland. I love Bowers. Really? I think Bowers is going to have a phenomenal year, but I'm taking close to Loveland here. Yeah, I think Loveland has tight end 1 overall upside. He's younger. Bowers is a better player, better talent. I just think that I'm going to roll with Loveland and bank on hitting on that 104 like we always do. So let's roll with it.
I understand the insulation there. I mean, I think I've said it, the gap's probably mid-27 first, so the value's right. I just ate trading Brock Bowers. Like, he's one of those guys you get him and you keep him. Like we were talking about with Gibbs, is like he's going to sit on my team for a long time.
Yeah. All right. We got CC back here for another super chat. Appreciate it here. We got a 12x10 Superflex PPR full rebuild. Should he trade Neighbors in a mid 27 second for Jefferson in an early mid 27 first? He already has 4 first next year. So Snoog, you're saying yes, rebuild. I'm sure people are going to ask. Trading Neighbors 22. Jefferson's now 26, but getting that early to mid 27, that does it for you?
Yep. Jefferson's going to be good till he's 34, 35 years old. A dynasty leagues look at it in a 2 to 3 year window. That early to mid 27 first is going to be an absolute stud compared to that second as well. I'm taking it all day.
I'm forced with this. Is like in a lot of my leagues, people know that I love Malik Neighbors. So they're like, this particular trade, we keep going back and forth where it's like a late first plus Jefferson to get to Neighbors. And it's like, this one though, I can't because that mid 27 second versus an early to mid 27 first, you got to go Jefferson. I think there's enough red flags with Neighbors that since that's early to mid, I can't see doing it, like ride it out. We have a real opportunity where Jefferson could get better. Like he's definitely not going to play like he was last year. I think as long as McCarthy's there, it's scary. But I'm seeing some rumors. I'm seeing some potential trades. Seeing something could shake down here. I saw Mac Jones. If Mac Jones goes to the Vikings, you just got hosed because Jefferson's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Like mediocre quarterback play, basic quarterback play. He's top 3. We just didn't see that with McCarthy. Hey, we got an interesting trade here.
Oh, this one coming from FF Snoog. We got one side with McCarthy in the 110. Oh, I thought that was the league. We got McCarthy in 110 or Jacobs and Kittle. Dad, do you know what side was Snoog's in this?
Nope, but I would want McCarthy 110. I think
someone offered me that. I give up Kittle and Jacobs.
Jacobs is dipping in value. I think he's pretty close to the 110. So it's like Kittle from McCarthy. I could see if you're contending, you want to sit on the other side, but I mean, I think I can do more with McCarthy 110.
Yeah, I don't need McCarthy, but like I'm still thinking about doing this. I think it's just value. Like get off agent bets for 2 young assets, young QB and 110. Maybe I hit on that 110 pick. So I'll probably end up doing it.
All right, we got the Smash Accept Trade Show regular here, Jaime Angel with a super chat. Appreciate it, Jaime. He said, would you trade Warren for Harold Fanning? No premium. Snoog, would you do this? And then if not, what would be, a fair
pick value
to put on it?
He's saying if you have both.
Oh,
would you sell
okay.
Warren?
Yeah. Does having 2 tight ends like that make you want to move off one, Dad? What do you think?
Well, I think Harold Fannon's about to eat. Like, he just had the best rookie season out of all of them. He's 21 years old. He's the wide receiver 1 in this situation, unless they draft Tate, Lemon, or Tyson at pick 4. I don't think that's going to happen. I really hope for all of our Browns, for all of our fantasy's sake, the Browns don't do that. But now he has Todd Monken's system where Andrews thrived for years. I think he's going to eat. So, I mean, I'm trading Warren out of this. I think if I can get Warren, get a mid 27 first plus, or get some kind of insulation here, I think I'm trading Warren and I'm keeping Fannin.
Yeah, I probably would too. And Fannon's a lot younger, and he's like, they're both like the clear cut number 1 target on their offense, which is interesting. They both don't have QBs, which is interesting. It just comes down to preference at that point. I mean, trade whoever's worth more to your league, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Trade 17 here coming from Osprey Rob, submitted through Twitter. He said, a guy in my league sent me a counter and meant to attach his 27 first, but sent with mine. Oh, what does he do? So he could get his first back, which he obviously would want way more. Dad, what do you do like this? Does it ever happen where someone sends a trade and something's wrong?
Here's the deal is like, we're here to build. You're building relationships with future trade partners, right? If he says that, like, listen, I meant to make it my 27 first, not yours, he's probably not in a position there where it's like, okay, say at worst, I would come back and be like, okay, I thought that was the trade. Let's rework it, throw in a second, right? But you're trying to build trade partners. You're building relationships. I don't play cutthroat this time of year. If this is the playoffs, like the week before the playoffs, and you're like, oh, sorry, wrong one. You're like, no, we're good. But right now it's January, it's February. Like, dude, we're not trying to burn bridges for future trades. I have no problem with it. And I know it's in the FFPC. Shout out to them. They do a great program. But I'm like, I just feel like you're going to really burn a bridge that you just don't need to do right now. Snoog, you ever have trades like that where you're like, somebody gave up the wrong one?
Yeah, I usually just reverse it if they give up the wrong one. Like, it's happened to me, and it's just a headache. Don't care enough. But yeah, usually what I'll try to do is just be like, look, I thought I was getting yours, but I thought I was getting mine, but you were meant to put yours. Like,
right? Like, if you do that 5 minutes afterwards, you're like, oh, so sorry. Or other people will be like 36 hours later, they're like, oh, I meant to do that.
Yeah.
Then I'm not going to put my thing down, flip it.
I think that's valid.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're making trades, keep an eye on stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you're dumb. It's a little phone. You got to make sure you get the right piece in there whenever you're cooking it up. All right. Trade 18 coming from Pat McCrotch, submitted through Twitter. Great name there, Pat. We got Skattebo and the 203 and a mid to late 27 first, or Neighbors and Pat Bryant squeaked in there, Dad. I feel like you're reaching for something on your right.
Shake.
There it is. Malik Neighbors, baby. Even if I love making trades like this because if it's mid, it's fair. If it's late, you crush him. And Pat Bryant's a nice guy to get thrown in. I mean, there is that wide receiver in the playoffs. He looked like, before he got injured, the actual wide receiver 1 there. And I think that's a great trade to get done.
Trade 19 coming from Steven, submitted through Twitter. We got Caleb and Ramondre, or the 101 Kenneth Walker and 202. He said he's trading for Love and then trying to trade 101 for 102 and 103. So I think first, let's address that first one. And then Snoog will throw the 101 for 102 to 103 your way, Dad. What do you think on that first part?
Well, the value is 101 Walker. And I told him that, but I'm like, his quarterback room is really empty.
Yeah.
So like, if you deal Caleb for 101, he's like, then I got to try to find a way, right, to deal the 101 for the 102 and 103. So now you're talking like, if that's for sure. So like, would I trade Caleb for the 102, 103 and Walker and the 202? Yes. But I need to know it's that, right? Like, for me, I just don't like, he's like, I have more picks in 27 and 28. I'll get the quarterbacks then. You have the quarterback now. Caleb is worth more than the 101. I understand that Walker and 202 are just kind of there, but the value is still the 101 side. I hate dealing Caleb.
Yep, yeah. I agree. I'm keeping Caleb Williams there.
All right. Trade 20 was already done. We talked about the three-way.
Oh, the
Guys,
three-way madness.
It's no longer on the wall after tonight. The Nico Collins giveaway. We had over 400 entries. Doof
Let's
12
go.
comes home.
No way.
With the jersey here. So we'll
haven't
send that
seen
out
Doof in a minute.
later on this week. So that's guys, we appreciate that. If you guys want more competitions like that, more like opportunities to do things, let me know. We'll get another jersey up on that wall, and we'll try to give back a little bit. You know what I mean? We're doing these shows. We're trying to make sure that we give you guys opportunities. We hit 13 super chats today. So Snoog, let's get that wheel up. I'm going to say, let's do 2. You know what I mean? Why not? It's Dynasty trades to pay for summer vacation. I'm ready. I'm going to be in Florida soon, man. Like, let's get it done.
Let's roll it.
Hey, well, it was cold here past week down in Tampa.
No,
it was freezing.
This week it's supposed to be 78. Let's spin it. I'd love to see some new ones here. We definitely have.
We had a lot of new
guys
faces tonight.
Are brand new to the show, so let's see if we get
Robert
Dubs. He did the three-way there. You always get rewarded with a three-way. Welcome, Robert. No, Robert's already in there, so hit me up. We'll set you up.
Rolando Robledo.
All right, I'm not 100% sure if he's in there, but if he isn't, reach out to me. I'm Dynasty Dad FF on Twitter. He's at FF Snoog. Guys, this was a fun show. You know, like every single week, it keeps getting bigger and bigger. You guys are asking more questions. We're trying to get it in there. The best time, honestly, like this is an hour. We get to just chop it up, right? And we can answer a question. But if you guys really want it, you know, and I know a lot of you guys are jumping in there with super chats for $5 here, $1 there, anything like that. But like $5 a month gets you into the Patreon. That gets you a whole month's worth of asking questions if you want. Get you a whole month's worth of looking at content that, you know, is going to set yourself up and protect your dynasty investment. It's the best way to do things. I'm going to flash that up there on the screen because there are so many questions here. We can't even get to 90% of them. If you guys have really wanted to be in a community where you guys could talk shop, and it's like Twitter, but Snoog and I are going to answer your DMs. It's like we're there to make sure we are putting you guys first. We're taking care of you guys. We answer every single DM within 24 hours. I have a couple rooms where if you pay a little bit more, you get it within 4 hours, you know, and I'm trying my best to do that all year. So Molly's saying the show's over by barking.
She said, let's wrap it up.
Tuning in and enjoy the process.